Very good evening, teachers. Welcome to this CBP session, Gamification in Literacy. I'm your resource person. Today in this session, we will cover what is gamification, how children feel when they read, when they go through literacy, how we can motivate children, different strategies, examples, and tips. Now let's start the session with the very important word that is called gamification. What is gamification? It is the strategic use of game elements to enhance the learning experience. How is gamification used in education? When we talk about gamification, it actually endeavors to literally create a game out of learning by theming all components of your classroom in a game metaphor, making your class like one big first person game. Remember that the goal is to enhance learning by increasing student engagement. So, here in this word gamification, engagement is involved. And we as teachers want maximum student engagement. That is why we focus on this word called gamification so that we will get our learning outcome in a very good manner. What is the purpose of gamification? Gamification is actually adding game mechanisms into non-game environments like website, online community, learning management systems, or business intranet to increase participation. The goal of gamification is to engage with consumers, employees, and partners to inspire, collaborate, share, and interact. So, this purpose of gamification is in all and all. But we as teachers are looking forward for whom? For our children in the classroom. So, consumers are no one else but our students. So, now I am modifying it related to our field of teaching, that what is gamification pedagogy? It is actually incorporating gaming theory into the field of education as a teaching pedagogy. Though the gamification of education, students become more engaged and interested in learning outcomes, and learning then begin. Now, as a teacher, what can I do? In this picture, you can see I, as a teacher, can question, can connect, can predict, can visualize, can summarize, infer, and synthesize. But this I want from my child in the classroom. So, this picture is something which I need to flip in the classroom. I want my children to feel like this. I want my children to do all these things in the classroom. As we are focusing on literacy today, so how, as a teacher, I can help my children in language learning? Few tools are there in front of you. But when I say game, it is a very broad term. It can be a puzzle, it can be a video game, it can be a role play because it is a play, it's a game. It can be a board game, it can be a sport, cross motor. and much, much more. So, gamification is actually a very big word, teachers. And when we are dealing with such word in our classroom, we need to understand how I'm incorporating this word in my lesson plan. Simply means that instructors use games or fun activity to introduce or reinforce specific language elements. Here, my prime most objective is to reach my learning outcomes. So, as a teacher, I need to understand the need of my class and I have to motivate my children accordingly so that I can reach the learning objectives. I am a motivator actually. So, teachers, we are motivators. We need to motivate our children as learning is not a tough task. Learning is easy. Change it into a manner so that children will easily grasp it. This is a very interesting picture where I can see that I can use gamification. Certain challenges I will face in the classroom, but rewards, badges, levels will definitely help me to reach the learning objectives in the class. Although gamification is also not easy, I must say. But yes, in comparison to our traditional learning system, in comparison to other pedagogies, gamification sometimes make children connect with you more. And the moment you see more connection, more student engagement, you are somewhere sorted. So yes, teachers, we can use gamification, but we have to decide the levels. If we are not deciding the levels, definitely we will face challenges. Now, what are these different levels? I hope you are already aware of this thing that we have different rubrics which we follow in our assessment systems where we see children are meeting, approaching, excelling, like that. So similarly, your games should have levels so that we will face little challenges. Very interesting. I always incorporate teacher activity in my sessions, CBPs. So this is the very first activity for the teachers. What this picture depict? Which type of learning is going on in this picture? Comment box is open for you. You have to put your comments, you have to put your answers for this activity in the comment box. What do you think what this picture depict? Let me move ahead. As a teacher, I should make students like this, feel like this. Now, what is this? I love grammar. Grammar is something, a turning point for the teachers as well and for the students too, because children hardly recall the different rules in different topics of grammar. So, in literacy, definitely we have literature part and language part, and we are focusing today particularly for this grammar language part. So, one case study says that if we incorporate kinesthetic learning system in the classroom, we get more and more output. Output is nothing but that is your learning outcome. As this picture shows, hands-on learning sometimes makes certain rules easily understood by the children which we hardly make them understand on the board. Or nowadays, virtual boards are very, flexible and, easy to use, and we just on a click go for virtual boards. But I prefer that teachers should go for the kinesthetic flashcards, hands on learning system, so that our students will get maximum benefit. Now, here comes examples for which you are definitely looking forward. So, this is the very first example, that is dice game for all the grades. You all know what is dice. So, on dice, such dots are there according to the numbers. And when we play such games, we need small sentences. Definitely, we need such pictures. And when the children get the turn, they roll the dice. And when they get that particular dominoes number, then that child has to read that sentence. So, here in literacy, we are incorporating learning for reading. So reading is again a fun if I am adding certain elements into it. Here, dice is that element, and that dice is actually converting the whole simple content into a interesting content. Next is read, stop, tell. Read, stop, tell is again a game. I have made those chits. I drop the chits in a container. Then I'm making a sitting plan in the classroom. I'm rotating that container. It is not actually a musical chair. It is a musical container. What else you can say? And it is rotating in the class. The moment I say stop, the child has to pick one chit, read that chit, and then again it start. So it is again a game where I am incorporating reading skills in the children, understanding skills too, because the child has to understand the sound of that particular word, then only the child will be able to read. So again, it is a literacy fun. Example 3, word Zenga. We have already seen Zenga, but this is a sleeping Zenga. It is again for all the grades. Teachers can make such Zenga if they have, creativity skills. Otherwise, such tools are available too. So you can use such resources, and you can make such resources as well by yourself. And then you have to make the children do making of these, word Zengas. Again, it is a hands-on learning, but it is a fun too, and it is something interesting too, because they are getting something in hand to make. Fourth example, again, word Zenga for all the grades. It's again grammar topic adjectives. So here, again, children can make different adjectives by using such small blocks. Example number 5, sports fun with grammar. I hope it will be a very interesting one if you can use it. It's for primary grades to middle grades, and of course the secondary grade children to enjoy such. Here, I have to have a setup outside the classroom. It can be done with the help of the sports teacher too, because now we talk about the art integrated learning. And when we talk about certain things, we need the help of the collaborative teacher too. So in a sports period, you can organize such grammar nut where which word is noun, you have to make certain flashcards, and then the child has to run, either you can make the child to run with the flashcard, to find a flashcard and run with that flashcard, and that flashcard will be of noun only, like say. So you can make certain, different games which can, make the children understand the need of learning Meanwhile, they are getting the, fun as well. All in all, I always say, what is the feeling of a child? When a child want to learn something, the child should be happy. If the child is not happy, then the child won't be able to learn. So we have to understand that each and every subject is having certain topics where the child faces trouble. And when we know certain things that this is the area where the child faces trouble, it is not like that every child is an excelling one. No, every child is not excelling. So those who are not excelling, actually facing problem, we need to take a break and we need to change our pedagogy. Example number 6, really a fun. I always tried such things in my classroom. It is again a tic-tac-toe. I hope you know about this game, but here there are no cross and zeros. Here it is drawing. So my TikTok toy is ready, and here I have certain attributes written: reading a book, watching TV, a birthday party, lost and earning, a pet dog, at a library, gardening, baking cookies at the zoo. So you can also write certain tasks which are easy to draw. Here, what you are doing, you are actually inculcating reading also, and then you are inculcating the picture making of that scene, right? So when we are doing such things, actually we are making our children to prepare a content related to the topic. So I'm going into a very deep thought, but yes, it is correct. By such games, you are actually, making the creative front of the child coming in front of you. Next example, let's make vocabulary words. Again, it is a game and I take it as a strategy. I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and number, and then I write small sentences, and then I'll make a picture as well. Now, what you have to do, what to do if I don't know a word? Here, you have to read the instruction. For example, number 1 is ask myself, what word would make sense? So, any word which makes a sense, you have to think about that word and you have to tell that word. So, these are actually on the spot questions. Now, I make certain pictures, then I say, look at the picture and speak 2 lines about that picture. Again, interesting. Get my mouth ready for the beginning sound. So, it is related to the phonics. Phonics is a journey. It is not only related to the early years or the primary, it is for the middle year children too. When I talk about the middle stage children, in that case, they need to understand the sounds of, you know, 3-letter words, blends, digraph, and, difference between them and utilizing them and why the silent sound of the letter is coming. So these are the different stages of phonics. So we need to check out that phonics is not up to the primary grades, it's actually up to middle grade children and vice versa. Let me move to the next example, verb master. Again, we have a starting point and then we need to finish at point, and then certain pictures are there in between the sentence. One sentence is there and one picture is also there. So you have to find that verb basically. For example, in this very first one, I, then picture, to school. So what is this? What this man is doing? Walking, going, whatever. So I go to school, like say. Now she is a girl already. She dash a book. Now what she is doing? Is she washing? No, she is reading. So she is reading a book. So verb master says that you have to think which word will come here, and then you come to know it is actually a verb, that is the action word. So you can use such games, you can make such games in the classroom, and verb will be a easy, a task for the children. Now, card game for adjectives. I can again make certain flashcards, and then I can write such situations with pictures on those flashcards, and then we can play this game. For example, I have Apple who has dirty, smelly, and gross. Okay, so now you have to understand dirty, smelly, this is all adjective. So here adjectives are coming. You have to find out the adjectives. You need to understand that this particular word is actually describing the object. So it is making your task easy. This card game is very fruitful when we go for adjectives. One small example for synonyms too. I have freezing. Who has a synonym for smelly? Okay. So here two situations are given. In one situation, it is like that freezing is something there. So you need to understand freezing. Now what is freezing? And then you have to go for its synonym. Similarly, one situation has been given. Who has a synonym for smelly? So you need to find out that's what is smelly first of all. And then you have to think one word for smelly, right? So it is just like that. Similarly, you can give simple situations to the children who are in primary grades, but you make the situation little tougher as the children grow, or for the middle or secondary grade children. Last but not the least, next example, it is art and literacy together. How we can skip art, you know? So here I have a beautiful flower. In that flower, there is a two-letter word. Then I need to paste the petals, right? Petals are empty, but yes, I can see small cuttings for the petals. So we have to make the whole sentence here using such petals. So using the petal is your call. You need to understand, right? So he is, she is, it is. Now, so here you have to take either all of them, you can take either one. So you have to understand by your own brainstorming that what will come here in the petals, though the middle word is already written here. So it is again a craft fun, it's a drawing fun along with literacy. Now, tips for the teachers, how we can make literacy more and more interesting for the children and easy too. Start with the phonemic awareness. We always face trouble in literacy because the phonics are not clear. It is not a bad thing to recall the things again and again. We as human need recall. So if the child is moving to the next grade, there is nothing harm that in your one or two session you give a quick recall of the previous one or the very basic one. Sometimes it happens that we forgot the basic one. So just go for the basic phonics so that they quickly recall because they are learning. Even we are learning. Next is introduce the sight words. Sight words are very important, and we always should focus on such words because these words are actually making the content and the understanding of the uh, subject easy. So sight words are very, very, very important. So need to understand that you should introduce the sight word, you should know the phonemic awareness program, and you should recall these things in the classroom. Use picture books. Picture books are actually a helping hand for a teacher. Always give books for reading to the children. When they read, they see new words, visual learning. Though although they won't be able to read, but yes, they see. When they see, they try to speak, they try to read. When they read, they come to know about the new words, they come to know about the recall of the previous already read words. So, very interesting. Engage in shared learning. Peer learning is very fruitful, teachers. Always incorporate peer learning in the classroom, and you will see the shiny colors in the children who really need help or the approaching ones. So, always help the children to do shared reading, shared learning, shared task doing, shared activity doing in the class. Utilize the guided reading. Give them guidance wherever required. Give them help wherever required. But yes, change your pedagogy according. Incorporate phonics instruction. Blend sound should be recalled with the children. Even you can recall the diagraph. Sometimes it happens that the grade 5 child won't know what is the sound of C and H altogether. So, yes, children need recall. Those who know, good. But those who do not know, your small recall will help them definitely. And they will be on the same pace with the excelling child. Engage reading, encourage reading at home. We need to give the feedback to the parents too to help the children read any subject which is not actually easily understand by them, because the subject which we are easily understanding, that is already going into our memory, but the one which is on a little tougher end, or less grasping is shown by the child, in that case we need help. And definitely, last but not the least tip is assessing the progress. Regularly assess the skills of the children. Regularly do such games in the classroom so that you can assess whether they are understanding by that mode of doing in the classroom or not, because we as teachers follow different models of studying and learning and teaching in the classroom. So we need to look into this thing whether the progress is there or not. Next very interesting activity for you teachers. So quickly go to the chat box, go to the comment box, and you have to give the answer of this, how to use this setup in the classroom, as it is revolving around literacy. So it is just meant for literacy, that how you will use this setup in the classroom, what is this setup called, and how you use this setup in your classroom, right? Next is blended with gamification. This is again very interesting. And word bingo, sight word, hopscotch, letter scavenger hunts, story retelling with puppets, and rhyming word races. Again, it can be for all the grades, I must say. You just check the level as I had shown you in my previous slide. Check the levels of advancement, and you can use all the games, all and all, but you need to check the level. Very interesting. Sight word race. Here only two-letter word or three-letter words are there. You can enhance the level. Think out of the room. Make the level little advanced as per your class grade. Make a setup. Even it can be a permanent setup in outdoor or outside the classroom. You can tell the management in the school to make such platforms for the children to make the subject understanding easier. Blended with fine motor skill, that is for pre-primary, for CBC words. So fun is everywhere. Subject understanding is really a fun. It is all how I am making it a fun learning for the teacher, for the children. Learning is a feeling, let the children feel it. So, yes, I always say you need to understand whether the children are connecting with you, whether the children are feeling good. If they are not, then we need to change the things. But yes, let the children feel it, because learning is a beautiful thing, right? So teachers, thanks for connecting. You can send your queries at abcteaching875@gmail.com. This is all about gamification in literacy. Thanks for connecting. Please attempt the activities given in the session. Give your responses in the comment box. And after that, you will get the certificate link for generation of the certificate on your mail ID only. Thank you so much. Happy learning. Take care.